be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. It's a good deal and helps support the show. What's up, Planeswalkers? It's time for Noob News. Noob News is a show about MTG dudes who want to increase their skill and win feuds. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. All right. Today we're playing a patron request. This is Zin's Vannifar deck that has 4 colors, and technically this is supposed to be like a deck doctor, but like the deck was fun to play by itself. I changed literally one thing. I considered putting Jason, but meh. I took out the Gravedigger because it didn't ever feel necessary. There was only one of, and I understand why it's a one of. It's a Vannifar deck, you know. And I put it in Mass Manipulation. The reason for this is a lot of the times the deck could get to a point where there's like a ton of stuff on board, but I don't have ways to win necessarily. And I was like, Mass Manipulation, that's a fun card, so let's put that in. But otherwise, it's just a fun, stupid Vannifar deck. Obviously, we're playing Risen Reef and etc., but who cares? We're playing a little bit of ramp. We got 4 Llanowar Elves and 3 Paradise Druids. These are going to help in the early game to make sure you can hit your very, very greedy plays. We are only running 24 lands, but I haven't really had an issue with it. Running 2 Fibbleflips. This is a fantastic card to get out of the library with Vannifar because it means that we're drawing 2 cards, but also like it turns our late game Llanowar Elves into something that actually is some sort of value. Additionally, Fibbleflip just you play it, you draw a card, and you get to block with it essentially. Kraul Harpooner. Kraul Harpooner, a nice one of to deal with a bunch of passive flyers. Loaming Shaman, actually relatively helpful in the deck. For example, if we use our Massacre Girl or like a Muldrotha's in the graveyard, but we have an active Vannifar, then we can go chuck some stuff that we need back into the deck, or if we're like afraid of milling or something, chuck some good stuff back in the deck, and we can essentially recharge our stock of cards. Also, it puts your opponent's stuff in their graveyard. I keep wanting to say flashback. No, not reach. Whatever the fucking one is. Startup, workup, who cares? Deals with Unearthed decks, deals with Command the Dreadhorde decks, although I haven't seen any of those, so that's nice. But Deputy of Detention is a good 3-drop, which allows us to slow the game down, and late game, if we don't really care about what is under her anymore, we can go ahead and get a 4-drop, which is fantastic. Hilariously, if we use Deputy of Detention on something, then we can sack that, get a 4-drop in Hostage Taker, and then cast the card that we had under Deputy. Now that, theoretically, is like not good value, but at the same time, you're trading 1 card for 2 cards, so it's fine. Like, you're paying mana for it, but who cares? 1 Knight of Autumn, fantastic as a one-of, because it can give you kind of anything you need. If you need to blow up an artifact or enchantment, this will do it. And if you need to gain some life, this will do it. Typically, you're not going to search for this thing in order to have a 4/3 beater, but sometimes you will. 4 Risen Reef, because Risen Reef is a very strong card. 2 Kiora, because Kiora is a really helpful card at untapping things. Cough, cough, Vannifar, to being able to activate her twice. Very similar to Birthing Pod in Modern, when it was still legal, you would be able to potentially get cards that will untap your Birthing Pod, and then tap it again on the same turn, and do some more shenanigans. Here we have 2 Shalais. 2 Shalais are pretty good in this deck, because we're going to often want to have a very wide board. We want to make sure we're protected against Settle the Wreckage, as well as pretty much opposing mass manipulations, because those aren't fun. Also, she is a win condition. She is one of the main win conditions that I found in this deck, where you get her, and then you use your ridiculous amount of mana to make your team huge. Spark Double, this card's just fun. It can come in, get an extra copy of Prime Speaker, so you have 2 Prime Speakers going off, just going through chains. If you really need some extra life, you can hit one of these. It's just a very helpful card, and you can get it and put a Yarok on it, and they have 2 Yarks, and you have much more value. Next up, we have 2 Hostage Takers, Premier Removal. Who doesn't love it? We can go ahead and just steal something, and when we have a Yarok, we can steal 2 things. Cool. 3 Prime Speaker Fan card. That's what the deck is meant to do. This is what the deck does. We have Vannifars in here. I've been told by other viewers that Zin just likes to play Vannifar decks, and I'm not gonna lie, this deck is fun as hell. We have our girl Muldrotha, we have Prime Tweaker Vannifar, she's bae, we all know that, so that's awesome. Mass Manipulation, I already said. We get a lot of mana pretty fast, and we have like ways of putting stuff from our graveyard back into our deck, so we really don't mind if this gets milled over or something. So being able to just like steal stuff from some opposing deck is going to be helpful. 1 Oketra. Oketra's fantastic. We're playing a bunch of creatures. In fact, how many non-creatures are we playing? We're playing 33 creatures, 1 sorcery, and 2 planeswalkers. We're playing almost entirely creatures. So Oketra is real good. Also, if she dies, we can just put her back in if she dies. she dies. One Massacre Girl, helpful in some situations. Being able to just wipe the board with a creature is very helpful. 2 Yaroks, kind of all we need. This isn't technically a Yarok deck, it's much more of a Vannifar deck, but it's really just a conglomeration of value, and of course you can't have a conglomeration of value without a bit of Muldrotha in here, so we have the girl Muldrotha. Now this is our mana base. Honestly, we could probably justify a single Field of Ruin, or Field of the Dead in this deck, but I'm not going to do that, because that'd be rude. But yeah, we're just gonna hop into some games, have some fun. I did play this on the stream yesterday, and it did relatively well. I also played a single game before recording because I had errands to do, and it's later than I usually do. I went against Temur Elementals, and I am certain that that person played that deck because Merchant recently put out a Temur Elementals deck that essentially just used clones to copy the shit out of Risen Reef, and that's exactly what my opponent was doing. It's just copying Risen Reef and stuff. I was like, all right, fun fact, I stole like so many of the Risen Reefs with my hostage takers because I had Yaroks out, and then eventually I stole literally all of their board because I played a hostage taker. No. One of my hostage takers had a the 3 mana clone thing, mirror image or whatever. This hand is pretty weak. This hand is much better. I will drop the deputy. A deputy, I should say. Oh, I'm just realizing this hand has no shocks. Now it does. Also, I need to delete the cat. So I had a mirror image. I played a spark double on my hostage taker that was holding the mirror image. And I had 2 Yarks out. I stole 3 of their 6 creatures, played that mirror image on the hostage taker, and then stole the rest of the 3 creatures and murdered the crap out of my opponent. Now my opponent seems to be on some sort of deck. And honestly, like, I don't really need to do this. I'm just gonna pass the turn. So there's some really interesting news, some noob news. No blocks. Have fun. We recently had a patch yesterday for you all, literally today for me. So my opponent's just on mono black stuff. That's fine. We're gonna go ahead and mono black stuff it in her face. Yoink. And I'll smork for one, I suppose. Of course, now the issue is that if I try and cast Massacre Girl, bad things would happen to me. But at the same time, I don't have double black for Massacre Girl anyway, so who cares? She's going to kill this, which is fine with me. Seems to be... oh, this might be a new player deck. Oh, no. This matchmaker's funny. So yeah, patch notes from August 1st. This is the 2nd. Who cares? Avatar now correctly chosen in direct challenge, or directly shown in direct challenge. Correctly shown in direct challenge. I can speak words. Muyen Ling sleeve will now display correctly. I didn't play with it, so I didn't actually know what it did. Let's see. This 4, this 7. I only have 6 mana, but I could do Spark Double on Hostage Taker. Steal this as well. Play this tapped. Next turn, play the big one and smorkin for that amount. I'm at 10 for what it's worth. Let's see. Pet no longer re-enables itself, so I do need to go disable it so it can literally leave me alone. And then a bunch of other gameplay issues have been fixed. Alright. I could cast this for 1. Now I'm just going to play the Sovereign here. Yum yum. So I could attack with Hostage Taker, but not really a reason to. Next turn, I will likely just Sky March. Honestly, the following turn, just Muldrotha. It's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Block. I mean, I could also just Massacre Girl. Block, block. And I actually kind of want this to come back out, potentially, because then Massacre Girl like cleans everything. Sure, examples. Gravedigger. Tickets by the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Oh my god, it's another Spark Double. I'm just stealing my opponent's cards. I'm a bad man. Events. There's a change to the event, which is awesome. Since the meta has shifted a bit, since we built the ban list for standard shake-up event, we've adjusted the ban list. Block, block, block. Yep. I feel very bad for my opponent. They should not have to deal with this. How does this gain me? Just one? Mm. Interesting. So, they've removed from the ban list for the standard shake-up event, that is the free event that's coming soon, Venerated Loxodon. I'm a little surprised by. Why do you keep attacking me? Command the Dreadhorde. So that's interesting. I'm actually very scared of that. Experimental Frenzy. I'm also afraid of that. And they've added Brineborn Cutthroat, Sorin, Imperious Bloodlord, Field of the Dead, and Feather the Redeemed. So it's been the standard shake-up event has already been shaken up. Very, very excited to see kind of what that format ends up being like, because it seems fun. Like, it seems very interesting. I feel like I'd play that a lot when it comes out, but I think it's like a short time. I don't think they're gonna keep it for very long. Also, I totally forgot. I'm disrespecting Vannifar right now. I'm so sorry, everyone, especially Zen. I can't believe I've disrespected Vannifar like this. I should be and am ashamed of what I've done here. Also, Commander 19 spoilers have started. I'll make a video on those at some point, but not today. I'm not going to talk about them right now because I want to give them my separate thoughts in their own video. This hand is very slow. We go first, but we have nothing until turn 4 at the earliest. We do have a sizable number of earlier drops, so I think I will keep this. It is a big risk if my opponent is, playing an aggressive deck. So our opponent's going to think we're on Bant. My opponent could be on Flash. No, Thought Eraser. Interesting. So, could be Dimir, could be Grixis, could be Mathis, or Nathis, Esper. Goodness. I assume, yeah, Yarok makes sense there. My opponent's probably like, what the hell? Got rid of a Sabotage, so they may be looking for more mana. I think my first play will be Shalai. Not sure. It's nice that we got another Yarok, but we would have much preferred to have Professor. Oh, it's Surveil. Oh, okay. So, frankly, much more interesting to me. So they can take one of my 4-drops, but I'll be able to have the other. Unfortunately, of course, this deck runs what is that darn called? Price of Fame, I think is what it is. I think that's the one that hits Legends that also surveils. So very possible that I'm going to get hit by that here. If not, though, I can play Deputy of Detention and use Prime Speaker to get a 4-drop. Not sure what 4-drop I would get here. Probably just another Shalai, frankly, to protect my Prime Speaker. Essentially, like, I need to make sure Vannifar is safe as long as possible. Although then I don't have much to sack to her. Could play Yarok, but I don't think there's really a reason for that. I think we're just going to try and cast this Deputy here. Like, Counterspell's fine. I just want, like, Vannifar not to bite the dust, kick the bucket. I was going to say bite the bucket, but that makes literally no sense. It looks like they're targeting Vannifar. So they have something in response. Because it looks like they were going to target Vannifar. Okay. Yeah, Cast Down can't hit Vannifar, so that's fine. No reason to attack. It's a 3/3, just bounce off. Opponent's down to 4 cards. I'm down to 2 cards, one of which is not great, and I don't have a black source, I'm just realizing. Well, I do now. Although, frankly, if this, resolves and I get to actually, use it, then I'll probably be getting... I think I'm just going to get a Elemental Boy. Risen Reef. No. Risen Reef. Show me a land that's not a land nor a card I can use. I could hit the Risen Reef to get something else. Black Source here would be good. Another Elemental would be fine. Their Phantasm is going to get a little larger. These 3 counters? Yeah. So that's fine. They didn't put anything in the yard, so they're totally fine with whatever they're going with here. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So I can sack the Risen Reef to get a 4-drop. I guess I might as well get Shalai here. Because even like Shalai, I can just keep using... I can just keep using Shalai. So I guess that's fine. So if they have a way to kill Prime Speaker, they should do it now. It looks like they do, which is rude. Or not, which is weirder. I could get a Spark Double. But I think a Shalai is just better. And once I have the Shalai, then they have to target the Shalai. I'm even going to just, like, pay life so I can activate this whenever I want. How dare you target my Shalai? Yeah. I don't have anything else to do with the mana, so I might as well make Vannifar a little bit bigger. Let's see. I feel like there was other noob news. I feel like I should just make that its own show. It's just noob news. It's just all magic news. And yes, it is a garbage parody. Oh! Yesterday on stream, I made a Twitch Sings character for some... Is there a god of MTG? Not really. Like, you could consider, like, the Ur-Dragon. There's gods. I'm just gonna say Emrakul. For some Emrakul forsaken reason, I made a Twitch Sings thing. And I sang, Sex and Candy, because that song is fire. Let's cast a Kiora. Okay, Kiora results, cool.
Not to brag, but my friends, let's get moving.
Counterspell. I was right. So then Phantasm, yikes from me. I assume they're going to kill my Kiora, which is fine. You got 6 damage I'm not taking. And I guess I might just try and take their Phantasm. I can take their Phantasm, sack it, and grab a, whatchamacallit. You should kill my Kiora, yes. Because if I drew a land, then I could steal both of these. Opponent still has up a Sinister Sabotage, but they've used 2 of them so far. Damn, I kind of wish that I had that. So let me just double check. 4, yeah, so I can only actually do this for X equals blah, blah, blah. Massacre Girl doesn't actually kill anything. I really don't want them using Thief Facility, and I'm pretty certain that this is going to get countered anyway, which sucks. I think what I'm going to do is take this. If it actually resolves, take it. Sack it to get a hostage taker, but it looks like, well, nope, they had their 3rd Sinister, so that sucks. That sucks a big one. 7 Gs. I'm gonna be at 4? Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. I mean, they've had some good hits against me. Chupacabra on my Vannifar. Wow. This is looking bad for me. Yarok is fine here because I can block, gain some life and shit, but they're taking something with my Thief, and it's just looking not great for me. I guess earlier on I should have taken that away from them. Luckily, I know my opponent has no instants, so I think unfortunately all I can really do here is play this Yarok and hope. But I'm fairly certain we're dead, and honestly, it's fine with me. Dying to Surveil is totally fine. Oh, Eldest Reborn, wow. Fucking, you know... Oh, fuck. Someone killed me with a combo on stream, and man, it was great. It was the Famished Paladin combo, but instead of an enchantment, they just used Sorin, which I, like, never thought about. The Sorin just passively gives lifelink. So all you have to do is have, like, essentially a normal-ass deck. You could even make it, like, slightly vampire themed, because you no longer have to work around the combo, necessarily. Right? Because of the fact that, like, Sorin is just a fine card. Famished Paladin is not great, but you can fit it in to a shell of an actual deck instead of forcing to build around it, which is just top. And I died out of nowhere. They were so close to dead, I think. No, my board position was commanding. I hadn't turned the corner into aggression yet, which arguably I should be doing faster, but whatever. Two lands and a Risen Reef. I'm keeping it. My greed knows no bounds. Derek's greed's in the chat. Blue, white, it's fine. So, deck my opponent's on. This reads Scapeshift. Fucking creepy ass hand trees. Put it on the bottom. Hey, cool. Well, as long as my elf lives, I can detention something if I need to. Risen Reef is always there for me. Let's see. Argument. Could be Saltite Flash. Temur Elementals. Gotcha. This is the more aggressive version of Temur Elementals. Sure. I do want, I think, to try and get these land drops. Llanowar Elf was helpful, but I really need to get there on at least one more land drop so I can start playing some other stuff, like Prime Speaker Vannifar. Yep. I expected your Reef. Okay, they didn't get mana, which is nice. They attack me for 2. That's fine. No blocks. Land is nice here. Do I play a Shalai? Or do I just take this? Because honestly, I feel like I should just take this. I can also Vannifar. No, I think it's just correct to take the Risen Reef. I don't see a world in which it's correct not to. Obviously, since they're playing red, it's very possible that my Deputy of Detention will die, which will lead to my opponent getting an additional trigger on the Risen Reef. But I think that's a risk I kind of have to take. And it looks like it's going to happen. Lava Coil, yep. So they are going to get an additional trigger. But hopefully, I mean, it seems like they still don't have the mana that they're looking for. I mean, I kind of do. Well, I mean, now I just do. So here, I think what I want to do is just play out Vannifar. 2, they'd have 3. So yeah, I want to get Vannifar smoking ASAP. And just pass the turn. Double Shalai in my hand kind of sucks. If I can get up... let's see. I could get a Yarok. If I get a Black Source, I can play a Yarok and then sack Llanowar Elf to get a Fibblethip and draw 4 cards. Otherwise, I'd really like to get a 2-drop so that I can go get another Risen Reef so I can kind of stay with them. Although, they're also just getting screwed on land here. Can't really attack here because their mana is not in a certain position. They have to discard too. Opponent somehow getting more screwed on mana than I am, and they've played 2 Risen Reefs. Very, very unfortunate situation for my opponent. Likely playing the Nissa version from the fact that they're playing with a Nissa face. Seems to suggest some real green. Definitely going to go ahead and tap that for green. Just play some black Yarok. Yarok is an elemental, so we're just going to trigger twice, which is always nice. Hostage Taker, sure. Nice to see. And we sack this. Get a Fibblethip. Fibbly will draw us some dang cards. Because it came from the graveyard, we draw 2 cards. Or from the library, sorry. I will have to discard. We can just drop one of these Paradise Druids. We have 2, we don't really need that many. If we have to, Massacre Girl wipes the board clean. Opponent finally has their 4th land. So we may see an Omnath here. Omnath would get them 2 triggers off of Risen Reef and deal 4 damage, so they could kill Vannifar. But my Yarok says, I don't care. I love it. Let's see. 2, 4, 5. 5 mana. We don't currently have a way to get another one. Next time we could Deputy on their Risen Reeves. I'd much prefer to Hostage take them, but I would want another land before I did that, so that I could play their Risen Reeves. Killing Fibblethip here is not great, especially if it's targeted removal. Fibblethip, as I've said, is also a decent blocker, but I would rather just sack Fibblethip to Vannifar and get an additional Risen Reef. Being able to snowball out of control is the point of the deck, and if we can snowball out of control more than a typical elemental deck, then it looks pretty damn good. opponent in the think tank. And I will admit that if we were going against a more aggressive deck, it would have been much more difficult, I think, to have kept this hand and have lapsed a little bit on those lands for those couple turns in a row. But luckily, we're playing against another value-oriented deck. Vannifar may die here, which would suck, but that's whatevs. We're playing against another value-oriented deck. It means that we do have a little bit more leeway to get our engine going. And every hiccup that our opponent has means that we're just in a much better position. That Vannifar is exiled to the Nowhere lands, but we have another in hand, which is fine. Another land, which is dandy. Let's see, so we can play a Vannifar, play a Hostage Taker. I think I would rather just be a Greedyman and play a Hostage Taker and go ahead and activate, or play an additional Risen Reef. So let's see, gonna do this. We're going to steal both of their Risen Reefs. Once again, they could get, you fucking... Oh, okay. I was legit annoyed because they moved, and I thought that I clicked the one I already clicked. But luckily, not what happened. Even if it did, it's like, whatever. Would have been fine. So we've been able to see Vannifar, like, actually in action, which is... Actually in action. Which is nice. Vannifar, I love value decks so much. Abzan is, like, unfortunately not great right now, which I'm sad about, because Abzan is my favorite color combination. But personally, like, my ethos is, Sultai, not the actual Sultai guild, or tribe? The concept target, the clans? Sure, whatever. This is an unfortunate mulligan. This is fine, I guess. And I think I kind of have to drop the Yarok. Oh, once again, I'm just realizing I don't have the fourth land, or the fourth color, for what it's worth. I am playing 4 colors. Up against a Temur Llanowar Elf, not the best, but we have our own turn 1 to play. And we just play a Watery Grave tap next turn if we need to. Okay, so they're max out here. So my assumption with the Teferi here, this is going to be Bant Scapeshift for certain. Sultai Scapeshift for certain. Just like never a doubt in my mind. I could get a beater out here. Then I can even like Vannifar into a 4-drop. Yeah. I'm just gonna try and beat the crap out of I'm just gonna beat my opponent to a bloody pulp. So I can smork with this. For 5, my opponent may just like play Nissa here. And that would suck. Huge lands. Big fat lands. But they didn't. Cool. And these growth piles really do make me think that this is a Neoform. Hexor, I am so sorry I misjudged you. My bro opponent is playing Neoform. However, my bro opponent also just left up counterspell mana, so don't know if I like you anymore. This motherfucker's about to counterspell me. But I have to do it. Why did you shock yourself there? 5 mana? They might even be playing Yarok. Oh my god, they're playing Yarok. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, our opponent is officially a bro opponent. We're playing our own Yarok. We're sacking our Vannifar. We're kind of apologizing to our opponent because we got our engine out a little faster. We're going to get a hostage taker. And we're taking your friends hostage. I'm very sorry for this. But at the same time, fuck, nice to you too, bro. Hexor, if for some strange reason you're watching me, you're cool. I don't like Idris Elba giving me the stink eye, but you're cool. And Dread Presence too, yes. Fucking Neoform, Dread Presence, Yarok. Opponent, I don't know what to say. Right, this is beautiful. You're beautiful, it's true. Play one of these, sack this, get another one, double up. It just... it's perfect. This is what I call pod racing. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I just want more Reeves. Just all of the Reeves. I want lands, too. Bruh. The module tech. Cool. Gotta discard 2 cards. Gonna go ahead and get rid of Elf on a Shelf. I probably should have dropped a Fibblethip. Don't really need Fibblethip anymore. Opponent's on 9, 4 cards in hand. I have a full grip, and I stole their Yarok. Scapeshift. It is a Scapeshift deck. So they're gonna go ahead and, man, you know what, opponent? Wait! Is this a modified version of Yarok and Du Bois? No, it'd be too modified. I didn't run Growth Spirals or Fibbletips. Did I run? I might have run Fibbletips, but I didn't run Neoform. I don't think this is a version of Yarok and Du Bois. That said, opponent is going to be able to murder some stuff here, depending on how many different sources of swamp they have. All right, so they're getting fucking 6 triggers. That's a total of 12 damage spaced out. Yep, you murder those. Let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they can kill Reef, Taker, Vannifar. But they wouldn't be able to kill my Yarok, which is kind of the biggest issue for them. Ow.
Ocean surges, life thrives.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that. Honestly, Hotch-Taker is probably going to be the card that is rotating that I will miss the most. I absolutely adore this card. Looking at my graveyard. Could they be planning some sort of... Yeah, and field... opponent, you're a man after my own heart, or a lady. You're playing Teferi, so I assume you're a guy. Or at least I'm going to call you a guy because you're playing Teferi. Going to get a Fibblethip. They've used... Oh, they had to, yeah. So they only have access to black mana here. Cast down, kills this, and gets their stuff back. But they don't seem to have it, so... I guess there's not really a reason to play Dread Presence here. Oh, shit, I don't have double white. So I think what I'm going to do is this... Untap this, cast this, cast a Fibblethip. Drawing a lot of lands. Or I'm drawing a lot of shit. Fuck it, I'll just draw more cards. I don't care. Value. That's all that matters. That is what is best in life. Discard a card. I'll drop a Fibblethip, I guess. So once again, they can kill this and get their stuff back. But my board is just so wide. That sounded strange. Shut up. Look at this energy here. White, blue, black, red, green. It's perfect. Escape a sheep. So they're gonna get a lot of creatures, a lot of zombies. I'm not sure you should have sacked that many land, because you sacked a lot once already. I don't know if you have a varied enough amount of lands left. Like, I feel like you could have kept some of them. See if they get there. They do. They have a lot of different types of land. Oh, they have a lot of these. Okay, I didn't know that they had these as well. Decent. Kept it on top. 24 cards left. All right, let's see. I could steal, Jesus, 1, 2, 3 of their cards. But like, where's the fun in that? Oh, does it say non-token? No, it doesn't. I'm kind of sorry about this. Still, we played a variety of decks today, and I really appreciate that shit. That was fun. That was fun, and I'm really looking forward to the next event, which I actually think is the Ixalan land drop one. I don't remember. Look, the events are cool because they're free, and you get to play something different. Whatever. This was fun. Zin, you made a cool deck. You made a cool deck, and I didn't need to change it really at all. I enjoyed it. I'm sure there's certain ways you could change it. I didn't even have to use mass manipulation like any of those games, but I still like it in the deck just as options. But no, this deck is fun as heck. Does this tell me like how many rares and mythics? Why does this not say? Like, why is there no like this many rares and mythics? Well, that's stupid. But I'm fairly certain it's a decent number of rares. Shit, there's a lot more uncommons in this deck than I expected. A lot fewer mythics. Alright, I mean, the deck doesn't seem that difficult to craft, other than the lands. And the lands, I think, are going to be one of the most problematic parts of the deck. But still, fun-ass deck, ton of awesome value. And, of course, I'd like to thank my patrons, especially Salamander, Croft, Rexel, Zin, and Furry God for their continued support. If you'd like to join them in supporting the channel and potentially get your deck played, go ahead and look at that in the description below. Also, go ahead and just press that join button, become a channel member today. Down in the description, you'll also find links to my Discord server, where we chat and play games, and we talk about spoilers and shit, which is always fun. And my Aether Hub account, where I host all of my deck lists, including this one. Even though it's Zin's, I played it on the channel, so it's mine now. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. I did. If you also did, go ahead and tap that like button, add a subscription to your mana pool, cast a comment in the comment section down below, pass the turn and the vid to some of your friends, and until next time, all will be one.